Everyone has a vocation. What is your vocation? As you listen to George and Stephen talk about their 3 years of discerning their vocation to be married and to be a deacon in the church, listen to how they've really wrestled with God's call in their life. I would ask you to wrestle with God's call in your life. Our first vocation is how God knows us from our mother's womb and calls us to be His disciple. Our second vocation is marriage, priesthood, religious life, lay consecrated life, single life. Or beyond that, to be a teacher or to do something extraordinary that God is calling you. Every one of us, God is calling us. As we journey with them, listen to them. And let's reflect on our vocation also.
Be steadfast in serving the Lord. I am George Waithe, a member of the Roman Catholic Cathedral. I was approached by Father Clement Paul to join the diaconate formation program. I consulted with my wife. She told me it was a call from God. I began studies with Dayton University. Subjects covered were Old and New Testament, Christology, Mary, homiletics, etc. After much studies, here I am. I must give thanks to God, Bishop Jason, Father Clement Paul, Monsignor Vincent, Father Charles, Sister Junan. And last but not least, special thanks to my wife who had sleepless nights with me through this journey. Thanks once again.
Greetings everyone. I'm Stephen Foster from St. Dominic's Roman Catholic Church. I'll just give you a little history about who I am and where I came from. I was born into a Catholic family, and I joined St. Dominic's Church at its inception in the early 1970s. And since that time, I've served in the capacity as a confirmation teacher, a Eucharistic minister. I've served on the parish council and have been part of the fellowship committee. In 2013, Bishop Jason Gordon approached me and asked me if I would be interested in joining a program for training to become a deacon. Well, I told him I really thought there were others out there that would be more suitable. But he persisted and asked me to reconsider. I did. And now 4 years later, I'm at the verge of making yet another step. But what I'd like to share with you today is a little bit about the journey, the 4 years in preparation to becoming a deacon. Well, first of all, it necessitated studying. Now, I hadn't studied since I left school in 1975. Now, that was a big challenge, to train the brain to get back into the study mode. But I overcame that hurdle. And during those 4 years, my faith has been pulled, stretched, expanded, shaped in all different forms and sizes, and readjusted to fit what God was doing in my heart. I'm glad to say that it wasn't easy, but it was a challenge. But at the end of it all, through the work of the Holy Spirit and the gentle grace of God, I think I've become a more mature person in my faith. I no longer have a child's understanding as an adult of what my faith is about. Now, the journey didn't just start 4 years ago. It started probably about 35 years ago when I started seeking the reality and the truth to find out whether God really did exist. And my spiritual director at the time, Father Jim Duffy, told me, Steve, the quickest and shortest way to Christ is through his mother. He said, you need to consecrate yourself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and she would lead you to Jesus. I did that. And now, some 35 years later, I find myself on the threshold of the next stage, the next step in my spiritual growth and development, and that will be becoming a deacon. On the 2nd of September at 10 o'clock at St.Patrick's Cathedral, I will be ordained into the diaconate. I will be ordained as a deacon. And I find myself at the place and the position that Our Lady promised. She has put me firmly in front of Christ to serve as He calls. So, sisters and brothers, and all who hear this recording, although it has been a challenge, I'd like to invite each and every one of you, don't be afraid to expand and to grow, to open your hearts to what God may be asking of you, and take the opportunity of what the church is offering in its education program to open yourself to the opportunity of knowledge and understanding and to grow in the faith. It has been a wonderful 4 years. It has been challenging, but it has been extremely rewarding. To Bishop Jason, I'd like to say thank you for his support and encouragement. To my brothers in the program, for their love and their support, it has been greatly appreciated. And to my wife and children, who had to make many sacrifices to allow me the time to devote to the studies during these 4 years, I am truly grateful. And to God, to where He has put me today, He has brought me a tremendous amount of joy and fulfillment and happiness. I thank you.